HMA President Stanley Maguire had built a reputation for bending the rules, evicting families through phony fines, backdoor loopholes, and rigged property sales that funneled homes straight to his golf buddies for pocket change. For years, he got away with it, leaving devastated homeowners in his wake. But he picked the wrong man this time. Ethan Parker wasn't like the others. A paramedic known for sacrificing vacations, weekends, and even holidays for his job, Ethan finally gave in when his best friend handed him plane tickets and staged a mini intervention. A 2-week escape to Hawaii was supposed to be his first true break in years. No alarms, no emergencies, just salty breezes and overcooked beach drinks. Before leaving, he secured everything: mortgage paid, HMA dues settled, cameras activated, and a spare key with his neighbor Mr. Callahan. He double-checked everything. Nothing could go wrong, but everything did. When his Uber dropped him off, something felt off. A strange car in the driveway, his usual welcome mat replaced, his hanging plants gone. And the key? Useless. It didn't fit the lock. Confused and heart-racing, he banged on the door until a man, mid-40s, smug in loafers without socks, answered. A woman and toddler appeared behind him. They looked startled. "Can I help you?" the man asked. "This is my house," Ethan said, stunned. The man chuckled, a cold, dismissive laugh. "No, we bought it 2 weeks ago. It's yours now." Panic set in. Ethan demanded answers, only to have a new deed shoved in his face. A legal document with their names printed clearly. He staggered backward, numb. No warning, no sale, no transfer from him. "I never sold my house," he whispered, but they insisted they bought it legally. Through the HNA, paid in cash, got the keys from the board.
The name that s'iled étanesrage, Stanley Maguire.
The HMA president, the same man who once fined Ethan for parking his rugged truck in his own driveway. This was personal. His home had been auctioned off while he sipped cocktails on a beach, completely unaware. "And my stuff?" he asked, voice shaking. "Cleared out," the man replied. "They said the place was abandoned. Gone. Everything. His father's record collection, his childhood photos, furniture, clothes, memories, all discarded like trash." Furious, breath ragged, Ethan bolted to his car and started making calls. His property manager, his bank, anyone who could explain how his life had been erased. Voicemails, every single one. He pulled up his banking app.
No transaction.
No money received. No indication that he ever sold anything. Determined, Ethan drove straight to the county clerk's office, where the fluorescent lights flickered with bureaucratic apathy. He slammed his hands on the counter, face pale with rage. "My house was stolen." The clerk barely blinked. She typed in the address, paused, and frowned. A heavy sigh escaped her lips, the kind that tells you things won't end well. "It was foreclosed," she said, sliding a file toward him. "Sold at auction." Ethan gripped the counter to steady himself. "But I never missed a payment. I never authorized this. I never." The words choked in his throat. None of it made sense. But one thing became crystal clear: Stanley Maguire had orchestrated this, and Ethan wasn't going to let it slide. Not this time. Ethan Parker stared in disbelief as the county clerk flipped open a folder. Her face was calm, almost tired, which made the news hit even harder. "HMA foreclosure," she said softly. Ethan leaned in. "What?" She pointed to a set of papers neatly organized. "Fin. Fees.
Stacked like a kietrap."
His eyes scanned the list. $450, grass too long $750, mailbox not the right color $3,200, roof maintenance issues $6,900 total in fines, but Ethan never received any notice. His grass was always cut. He hired a landscaper. His roof? Only 5 years old. His mailbox looked like every other one, but because he didn't pay these fake charges, because he didn't even know about them, the HMA claimed he abandoned the home and sold it in an auction. And guess who bought it? Jeremy Calloway, a board member of the HMA and close buddy of Stanley Maguire, the president. It all clicked. This was a setup. They waited for him to go on vacation, made up fake fines, and sold his house behind his back.
Étané s'en shook.
His stomach turned. He gritted his teeth so hard his jaw hurt. They stole everything, and they thought he'd just accept it? They had no idea who they were dealing with. Ethan turned his apartment into a battle zone. For 48 hours, he didn't sleep. He printed every document, bank statements, no missed payments, HOA payment receipts. All clear, no emails, no letters, no phone calls, security footage showing strangers entering his yard without permission. This wasn't a mistake. It was a scam, and he was ready to fight.
Hanté, Lisa Caldwell.
A fierce lawyer who made a career crushing real estate scams. When Ethan met her, he barely finished explaining before she held up a hand. They messed with the wrong person, she said, flipping through his files. 2 days later, the HOA got served. A $2 million lawsuit landed on Stanley Maguire's desk. Lisa wasn't playing around. She charged Stanley Maguire, HOA President Jeremy Calloway, fake buyer, the entire HOA board, for running a scam, even the HOA's lawyer, for approving shady documents, and the best part? She had proof, emails,
Signature.
hidden recordings. The case exploded. Ethan shared everything online, Reddit posts, TikTok videos, screenshots, and documents. It went viral. The headlines were everywhere. HOA sold my house while I was on vacation. Corrupt HOA runs a legal foreclosure ring. He fought back and won. The public went wild. News stations picked it up. CNN, Fox News, even the Today Show. Suddenly, the HOA was drowning. Stanley Maguire lost his job. Jeremy Calloway was exposed in other shady deals. HOA board members deleted their social media accounts. Then came the final blow. One board member cracked under pressure and confessed everything. They targeted Ethan on purpose. They knew he was going out of town. It wasn't the first time. They had done this to others. Dozens. Hundreds.
Fake finesse.
Fast Foreclosures.
Dirt cheap sales to friends and investors. But this time they got caught. Ethan's case turned into a massive class action lawsuit. In court, the room was packed. Reporters, former homeowners, people who had lost everything, all watching. The judge, stern and serious, flipped through the evidence. Her voice was sharp. This is one of the worst fraud cases I've ever seen. This homeowner was targeted, his home stolen, and his property thrown away. This HOA has abused its power for personal gain. She looked straight at Stanley Maguire. His eye twitched. He tried to stay calm, but the panic was clear. Then she said the words everyone was waiting for. The sale is cancelled. The home is returned to Mr. Parker. People cheered, but she wasn't done. This HOA is found guilty of fraud, conspiracy, and theft. It is dissolved, effective immediately. Boom. The HOA was shut down. Forever. Lisa Caldwell leaned over to Ethan and whispered, "That's a $5 million settlement." Ethan finally let out a long breath. Not just relief, justice.
And then came the cherry on top.
The couple who had moved into Ethan's house? They got an eviction notice. Turns out, they knew. They were part of the scam. They had just 3 days to leave. Ethan watched from his porch, coffee in hand, as they packed their things and left. Jeremy Calloway showed up. He said nothing. Neither did Ethan. But karma was already rolling. Just as they were leaving, a county officer hammered a foreclosure notice onto Calloway's house. Maguire? He couldn't pay his fines or legal costs. He lost his house too. Everything he owned was auctioned. His reputation? Gone. Ethan sipped his coffee and smiled. For the first time in weeks, he felt at peace. Hope you enjoy foreclosure, buddy. Poetic justice never tasted so sweet.